watch. And I was like,
I remember when Nata from Baltimore hit his knee. You know, he hit like with his helmet and stuff, and that took him out. And then all of a sudden, Tom came in and won 3 games for us. Captain Kirk. You know, we had two of the best quarterbacks.
Welcome to another edition of DMV Sports Show. I'm your host, Rasul McGee. I'm glad that everybody's here because you know what time it is. You know what day it is. It's Saturday. That's right, folks. It's Saturday to hear the sports that you want to hear on your weekend. Good afternoon. Good evening, everybody. It's a hot one out there, folks. Yes, stay as much hydrated as you can because the heat is going to consume you and fry your brain. But as we always do, we give you some comfort and some coolness so that way you can actually so we can actually give you the type of sports that you want to hear on your weekend so that way you can relax and get your favorite beverage and listen to some sports with your host Rasul McGee on your weekend commute to work or just to sit home and watch TV, because we got a lineup that you wouldn't believe. We're going to talk about the Washington Commanders. OTA is now coming to an end, but training camp is on the way. There's a couple of questions that we have to ask is, do we select or do we sign Connor Williams, former Miami Dolphins, injured, ACL ripped, now repair, center, or do we sign Brandon AYUIK, former 49er wide receiver who went to the playoffs and NFC Championship, and do we just let him go to another team? That's a lot of questions, but we'll get to that in a minute. We're going to talk about the Washington Wizards. The Wizards are now second in line in the NBA draft to select SARS. Or do we keep KUZMA? Do we let go of KUZMA? Do we trade DENI and BILAL? There's a whole lot of information there. Do we also do what the Boston Celtics did to win their 18th championship in the NBA Finals? Congrats to them. We're going to get to that in a moment. And we're going to talk about the Baltimore Orioles beating the Yankees in the last rubber game 17-5. I know the Yankees hated that because they pulled it to a half a game closer to first place of the AL East Division. Moving on. Do we talk about the Washington Capitals? The Washington Capitals do that off-season reshuffling of the deck, if you will. But we get to that in a moment. USA men's soccer and women's soccer team is starting to heat up. Can't give you any information there until we start the show. That's coming in a minute. And also, last but not least, 2024 Summer Olympics is starting. And there's a lot of USA candidates out there that is going to give some of these French men and women a run for their money. And I'm looking for us to really get into the goal race and win it. But again, like I said, a lot of sports is coming up and a lot of sports we're going to be talking about within an hour. Can we do it? I think we can. All right. So before we start the show, I want to say, please, everybody, please, heat stroke is very, very, very serious. Drink a lot of water. Yeah. Drink a lot of water.
Yeah, I almost died today.
I am sorry that you almost died today, Miriam. I almost died too at my job. So make sure.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah. Get to the show, please. Make sure that you drink and stay hydrated, folks. It's very serious. Mm-hmm. All right. Now let's start the show. We're going to talk about the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders have no problems on offense. It's all go for right now. Everybody in the NFL stratosphere loves the Commanders quarterback, Jaden Daniels. And like I said before, Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels, either one is fine with me. But right now, Jane Daniels is having no problems with the offense that Cliff Kingsbury is actually implemented into the offense. He's lighting it up. He's actually spreading the wealth. I mean, this guy is literally flawless in every aspect of arm strength, accuracy, agility, understanding the playbook, dissecting the playbook, asking very important questions, and the offensive line is actually getting pass protected. This is really what you want out of your offense, doing exactly what you needed to do to dissect the defense. Now the question still remains, and this is brought up in every commander podcast and interview. What kind of defense do we have? We really haven't seen the defense do what they needed to do to stop Jaden Daniels, or know how to stop Jaden Daniels. But the defense did not have no luck against Jaden Daniels in OTAs to stop him. There was maybe one or two picks that was listed, but it wasn't able to stop him from going crazy on the defense. And this is the problem I had most of the week in OTAs. Now, training camp is going to be a different thing, and then preseason, the 3 games, is going to tell us where we are specifically when it comes to the regular season against the Buccaneers. As I'm really trying to figure out what this defense can do, because when we see the defense, we know what we got. We don't see the breakage between tackles and trying to sack Daniels. We don't see the defense on both ends of, rushing a passer. We don't see mainly what to do on the edges. All we see is 30, 40 yards down the field, 1 or 2 picks, but touchdowns all the way for Daniels. I like this, but the defense don't show me a challenge. They're silent, but they're not deadly. This brings me back to a time when Joe Barry was the defensive head coach, and Joe Barry had that bend don't break mentality that I hate so much, because bend don't break doesn't give you the opportunity to go after the quarterback. What it does is give you the opportunity to spy on your quarterback to see where he's going to throw, and you just hope and pray he doesn't throw it into your window. If he throws it into your window, then you have to react right then and there. But then that causes what? That causes either a pass or interference or a penalty that takes you out of the element of taking over the football game, which costs you what? 7 points in the fourth quarter. Every yard counts in the NFL, and especially in Commander's life, trying to go to the finals or the conference finals or the conference, the NFC East or the NFC divisional conference, excuse me. But in this case, we are good on offense, but can the defense sustain an attack and be on the field and get punished every down? That is my question. I got a panel here that can help me out with this question, and then we'll move on to the next one. But there's so much to impact from the OTAs, but we're going to start there. We got Big Steve here, I believe. How you doing, Big Steve?
I'm doing fine. What's up? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. We also have Coach here. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, Ratu.
All
I'm
right.
doing fine, thank you.
I'm good.
I hope you are.
I'm good. I'm actually ready and willing to get this show on the go with the commanders on deck for the first question. But we got to bring in this Campbell Soup lady right here who almost. How you doing, Mary? How you doing?
Woo!
I'm really happy that you're here and awake for your Campbell Soup debut. So moving forward, I have a question. Moving forward, and if Miriam, if you want to contribute, that's good. But if not, I'll just ask Coach and Big Steve what they think of the question. The question is defense. wins games. Do we have that type of defense to take over a game versus, let's say, not just Tampa, but Eagles, Dallas, Giants, and get that W that we deserved to have last year? Let's go with Big Steve and end with either Coach or Miriam.
Okay. They, in the free agency, picked up maybe 8 players on defense. And, our all is already set. But on defense, like I said, we got the linebackers we didn't have last year. We had 2 capable ends that can take Chase and Sweat place, like I said, just Lou for starters, and Chin, Chin, our cornerback, he's a big cornerback at 6'2", 220 pounds. So we have the defense to take care of people, Like I said, we didn't have linebackers, and our rookie got burned, So hopefully he learned his lesson from last year, and we'll do numbers.
So let's go with Coach. How you doing, Coach? What do you think?
Well, from what I understand, and if we have both the professionals, the ones that are already, they've already been playing, and we're going to have the rookies. I believe the rookies come in first, for the camp. At least a few days, 5 days before. I believe they're going to be able to, develop. They'll know. I mean, we're not at that point. We're not finding it out. I'm glad Steve pointed all that out, because it's like, that you've got your pros, you've got your, well, they're all pros, I'm sorry, but you've got the talent. Now, they got to learn, though, when they have the chance, have their eyes open so that they can get that ball back,
Yeah.
So we can have our offense back out there, or they could score a touchdown. And yes, that's a big thing right there.
Right.
I'm hoping that that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Right. I hear you loud and clear.
Mm-hmm.
Miriam. Okay, she is probably doing something else, but let's go to my comment. I believe, as you already know how I feel about the defense, I love the addition of the players who's been in this game for decades and have been consistent. That's what we need in every single game, being consistent. However, they have not been dominant. There might be a couple that have been dominant, but haven't really peaked at their higher potential. But they love Dan Quinn. Let me also add that these other teams that we go against every year always have, not always, but have managed to peak over our success daily. And sometimes we owned the Eagles. The Eagles have owned us for the past 2 to 3 years, 4 years. That's not good. Giants have been owning us for decades. The only time that we got to them is when we had RG3.
Yeah.
We got to them, and then we lost. Then, not only then, Dallas. We have been winning back and forth with Dallas for some time now, until Ron Rivera came in and we lost. We got swept. Now, hopefully, we can turn the tide on offense, which we did. We got plenty of weapons. We are 100% talented. All that money went there. And now we're good. I see it. The quarterback situation is solid. Sam Howell did not have it. Yes, he threw over 4,000 plus yards. That's good. But he had over 26 interceptions, less touchdowns. I'm not too happy with that. Yeah, but those are personal accolades that he achieved. Good for him. Now he's in Seattle. We have to be better on defense. I'm not too happy with putting Jamin Davis on the end. I think he'd be better as a linebacker rushing in on the right side. I think the right side linebacker would probably be his more strongest point because he's been there for almost 3 to 4 years there. To take him away from that moment will actually hinder him because he's going to get blocked up front immediately. Now, can he sustain blocks? I don't know. They need to work on that with him if he's blitzing with the linebacker blitz. Now, as for the other linebackers that we have, they're not per se blitzers. They more of a coverage sacks or coverage blitz type of linebackers. That's when the corners come in. That's when the safety comes down and have a coverage sack. I think if we allow ourselves to work within the frames of what we got, then we'll be a dominant team. But if we come out the element and take one linebacker, put him on the edge, he's not known to be there, and he's not a hybrid like a Chase Young, like a Monte Sweat, then we're in the trash. We're in the trash, and we're not good enough. I know.
You don't think we have anybody that's equal?
No, we do have good players. What I'm saying, those players have been in a position that they held consistently for decades with a team in Carolina, Seattle, Dallas, and Eagles, and what have you. But they have never played without in their elements. You know what I mean? They've been within their elements, not out of their elements. So to take one person and put him out of his element, and then you put that person and he doesn't gain any traction and will break the scrimmage of an opponent to sack the quarterback or get a strip sack or a strip fumble or take it to the house, that means that the coaches are in trouble. But we have a new caller, and this caller is welcome. What's up, Eric?
Hey, dude.
What's good, man?
Finally got a chance to sneak in for a couple seconds. What are we talking about, defense now?
Yeah, we're talking about defense, man. What do you think about the defense?
Well, see, I got suckered with the last regime, with Rivera and Del Rio being, reasonably decent defensive players.
Right.
I figured they would, set us up properly, and they did not. I hear you talking about some of our players, Jamin Davis. I don't know what to do with Jamin Davis, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't think he's big enough,
right,
to really rush the quarterback like what this team needs.
Exactly.
You know
Thank you. Yes.
I mean, like, if I'd make him lose 10 pounds and put him at safety, he's got the speed. He's not really a dumb person.
Right.
But I think he's just a little bit too small to be sitting at linebacker and trying to get through the D line and get to the quarterback.
Exactly.
That's just me,
No. That's perfect, bro. Continue. I'm sorry.
As far as the rest of the defense, we're going to have to wait and see. I think most of the folks online here are going to miss Cam Curl as much as I will.
Yeah.
Wish he had a better team around him so that he could really, really develop. But the thing, the focus has been on our boy Daniels on the offense, and rightfully so. But
Right.
the thing I noticed overall about DQ is he's getting guys with motors.
Right.
You know.
Yes.
It might not be the most flashiest or kind of signings and stuff like that. Well-known names, but he's getting guys with motors. He's getting guys that want to play for him, and those are two separate things now. Yeah, I think that's very, very good. My thing has been, O-line. It's been neglected for too long, and when they went through the draft, I was screaming until I found, took a look back, and somebody said, hey, look, they took all the O-linemen in the first round. We couldn't get back in time. Fine. But, like I said, he's getting guys with motors, and he's actually snuck in a couple players under the radar that might be interesting and helpful on the O-line. And with that, I'm thinking he's going to do the same thing on the defense. He's going to sneak a couple players in. They're not going to be the high-profile players. But one, he's, like I said, he's consistently, getting players with motors.
Right.
A little bit on the younger side mostly. He players with motors and, of course, players that want to play for him.
Well, so before you go, bro.
So I'm crossing my fingers that that's going to work on the defensive side, even though they don't get the headlines, and see what happens.
Well, before you go, bro, I got two questions to ask you. One, do we get Connor Williams from Miami Dolphins, who was injured, or do we get Brandon AYUIK, who was a former wide receiver for the 49ers?
AYUIK, I was talking about this on a different show. He's cute in a sense that it's very tempting to get. The question is what we have to give up for him, and would it be worth it? Yeah, it's great that he's got a relationship with Daniels. I would hold off. I wouldn't sell a farm on that. If it just happens to fall into our lap, okay. Keep an eye on Terry. I mean, we all love him, and he's productive, and he's the best that we've seen in a little bit. But this regime has no allegiance to him. That's just the bottom line. Who's the and the other?
What?
Well, he's. Hold on. Let Eric finish.
And then the other dude you mentioned. Oh no,
they
no
just
question.
didn't play him enough last year.
Hold on. Wait.
They need to put him out there,
Coach.
and he'll show them.
Coach, wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. I was gonna introduce Lou, but go ahead, Eric, and then we'll.
Just to wrap up, the other guy we say, Connor Williams. I just read about him today, so I have no real opinion or anything. I don't know who he is, what he plays for, or anything like that. One thing I know about him is you just introduced him to me as somebody who was hurt. So I'm going to leave that alone.
All right. So we got to introduce the next caller who came in here, and he is the co-host of the Enhanced Sports Show, Louis Tenor. What's up, Lou?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, what you were saying?
I was saying that Terry was not put out enough last year, and they need to use him. He's got the talent. They had a video on with the coaches. One of the dudes was trying to say something about Terry, but the other one, he took up for him, and I'm like, I'm with you. I know he's got the talent. I know he's good.
So the thing,
no question about that. But he got dinged over early last year, late the other year, and he has lost half of a step. Look, we all love him. We know he can produce. We know he's good. But I'm just going to see what DQ and them do with him. Are they going to keep him? Are they going to keep him as that bridge, or do they see him as a valuable bargaining chip? I'm saying that mostly for myself, so that I won't be like totally devastated and crying and stuff if something happens to him. But that's just the reality, I think he should. I hope he stays. I hope he stays. I hope he balls out. I hope he helps take this team to the next level.
I hope he does too.
I love the conversation that we're having right now because it's a perfect example of what what is happening right here. So here's what I believe about the offense. The offense have all the weapons in the world. To have Brandon Ayuk come in here and settle down is one of the best additions because he can be your sixth man in basketball. He can come off the bench and give you production. He can give you that burst of speed. He can actually get into what is called the red zone for kicker. So we need like 15 yards. He can give you 15 yards in the middle. He can give you 15 yards running up the sidelines. He can give you a sweep. He can give you any type of wide receiver sweep that you need in a minute because he has that breakaway speed. That's why he is a X factor. I think he deserves it. Now, Connor, I'm not too sold on Connor Williams for a different reason. Because one, yes, he's injury prone. Two, he hasn't really worked out until he figure out what team he wants to go to. Yes, he was a Cowboy. Yes, he was a Miami Dolphin. Do we need an actual center? Yes, we do. But do we actually need Connor to fill that position? I don't know. But if there's another available player out there to do so, then we don't have to go at Connor. But if Connor's weight and feet work and hands work are better than the ones that we have on the next man, then yes, then we should go get him. But that's a risk that we're going to have to take, which we don't need at this moment. Because right now, as DQ said it in his opening statement in coming to become a commander, we are in winning mode. This is not the same as Ron Rivera's winning mode. This is him saying that what he did with the Eagles was winning mode. We're not going to duplicate what the Eagles did, but we're going to get everybody in the same fit mindset that the Eagles did. So with that being said, I see the intensity on the offensive side that he's making true to that statement. As for the defensive side, I get this as an experiment. This is becoming an experiment on the defensive side because these are the players that the coaches wanted to work with to see what they can do under their idea. Their idea is let's get Bobby Wagner, let's get Jeremy Chin, let's get this guy from the Carolina Panthers, let's bring this guy from Dallas, let this guy come from whatever, bring this guy from the Eagles, and let's mush everybody into it and feed them the information that we get to see what type of results we get. Now, as you see, the results are pending, but you start to see a little bit of sliver of talent coming out of that wording. That's a problem. That is a huge problem because you don't see the intensity. When we had don't get me wrong, we do have what's his name? Kerrigan. We do have Garrett Kerrigan as a coach. But when Kerrigan was here, right? Kerrigan and Brian Arapaho, you saw the talent. People feared the crap at coming to FedEx Field because they knew either Arapaho was going to get you or Kerrigan was going to get you. And that's the problem where we don't see that now. Like we saw, what's his name? Chase Young. We saw Chase Young and we saw Montez Sweat. Either Chase was going to chase you or Montez Sweat was going to get you. And we knew where our ends were, and we knew all we had to do was build the middle. Now we don't know squat now. Let me ask the panel, and then we'll go to our next topic because we do have an hour show, and I know we love talking about the Commanders. But let me ask you this. We're going to start with Lou and end with Big Steve. In this day and age, does it really matter if we have the hard hitters on our team? Does it matter? Because if they don't know the scheme or what better scheme to get to the quarterback or who is going to sack the quarterback. Now, let me also add, I do miss Cam Curl because Cam Curl was the primary guy that you could not get. Yes, he got burned sometime, but that wasn't his fault. But he was the primary person to stop the run, stop the wide receiver screens, the running back screens, and yes, he took it to you. The other person I wish we will put on the field is Percy Butler, the dude out of Louisville. That guy needs to be on there because he can actually give you a hit. Yeah. So I apologize for that. But that's what I need. That's what we need. Okay, but let's go with Lou and with Big Steve. The question is, based on who we have on defense, does it really matter that big hitters are there?
Well, with the defense the way it is, I think it would be important to have the star players there because the defense has been atrocious. So you're going to need anything you can get to improve. So they have to know the scheme because if you don't, you're going to be lost another year. So it's important that everybody know where they're at, position-wise, or anything, to make the team better.
Okay, all right, I hear you, Eric. What you think, bro? Okay, Eric might be getting ready.
Yeah, I'm kind of here. I'm kind of listening. I was checking up on Connor Williams. He seems like a kind of a long shot. They want him back.
Yeah, that's what I thought
I can't
too.
blame him. Based on what I'm learning about him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Give me a quick hit. What was the question specifically?
Okay,
again?
but all right. So the question I posed to the group was based on I know it's kind of like the same thing I said before, but this is more of an in-depth type of thing. Based on the heavy hitters we have on the team, does it really matter that the heavy hitters that we got from free agency are on this team if they don't understand what the scheme is? So it's like, does it matter?
Of course it matters. I mean, of course it matters. They got to understand the scheme. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I don't foresee that at all.
Okay.
But to answer the actual question, it's like, yeah, you got to know what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right, Coach. Coach.
Yes, sir. What's up?
Okay. Did you hear the question?
Well, I can say we're on defense.
Yes.
I need more information on them.
Right.
For sure.
Right. Well, I'll come back to
We
you.
don't have enough.
Exactly, and that's why I'm worried. That's exactly why I'm worried about it.
Hopefully, these coaches that we do have will, they will have to learn. They will have to study. And they will have to provide and, keep their eyes open.
Yes, and that's where my concern comes in. But I'm gonna give to my whole thing about it. But Big Steve, man, I know we have a difference on opinion on the defense, but come on, give me your take again.
Okay, my take is they got everything on defense. Not just the players. Remember, they have a former defensive coordinator. His assistant defensive coordinator. They have the defensive coordinator from Dallas. Not Dallas, San Francisco. They have Ken Norton Jr. They have Brian Kerrigan. So you got all this knowledge just for defense alone. They know the Washington Commanders Achilles heel with their defense. Now their offense, they got an awful center. They got a guard. They already put the guy from TCU at left guard because it's big he is 6'6", 320. Then you got Eckler, you got Dawson, you got Scary Charlie, you got McCaffrey.
Well,
and don't forget, you got number 13 from Philadelphia Eagles that they third wide receiver. So he's going to be our third or fourth wide receiver.
Okay, so offensively, I have to agree with you every single thing you said offensively. That means that everything we have done offensively has worked. I mean, we got the talent, we got the speed, we got the agility, we got the strength. Everything we ever wanted is on offense. I love Eckler.
Mm-hmm.
I love Christian.
Great.
I love Christian Rodriguez. I love the North and South runner. That reminds me of Alfred Morris. I love that. But defensively, we don't have the agility on the edge, and that's very important. But to look at it like this, and then we're gonna move on. Then we're gonna move on. I don't know if I interrupted you, Steve. Did I interrupt you in your analysis?
I would just say one person.
Okay.
Who was the second leading tackle, and we have what you gonna together with was the first lead defense in tackles. So we got number 1 and number 2 in tackles. So our general manager, remember our general manager came from 49ers, very smart. So you see, we're just the one weakness that the Commanders had last year was tackling. So that's where he brought in those 2 linebackers. And then the linebacker from the Pittsburgh Steelers, number 38. So we got the linebackers.
Okay, but see,
our weakness.
oh, are you done? Are you done? Are you done? I don't. Okay. I don't want to interrupt you, but everything you said, like I told you before, like the question says, the pickup of these heavy hitters, we have done this before. Albert Hainsworth, Jason Taylor, Dana Stubberfield, Bruce Smith. Hold on. I'm you know I'm going there. You know I'm going there. Hold on. Okay. Dana Stubberfield.
I hated Jason Taylor. I hated it.
I know. I remember Eric did that post. Hold on. Jason Taylor, Dana Stubberfield, Bruce Smith. You know, what's that? What is that guy name? I forgot. Yeah, well, Deion Sanders was all right. I don't like him. How we got him, but we were okay, you know. But defensive wise, because he was an offensive weapon, and we did not do that well against Dallas. But that's just a whole nother story that we ain't got time to talk about. But we got to the point where we're bringing heavy hitters in. I could bring in Jeff George. I hated Jeff George coming in because he was not only did I hate Jeff George bringing in, I hated Tony Banks coming in. Tony Banks was a horrible signing, and I would never forgive the organization.
Tony did all right.
No, Eric, no, he did not. Stop, man. Stop.
Hey, look, he's not Brady, he's not Marino, but he did the best he could.
No, well, he didn't have what we had, though. That's what I'm saying. And there were so many quarterbacks out there that we could have got that could fill a quarterback position. But why would you get Tony Banks, who didn't do anything in the Rams? I'm off topic. I don't want to get angry. I don't want to get angry and have Tony Banks come on. No. I don't want Tony Banks to come on my show. Yeah. Well, Mariota.
I think we're going to do fine on the offense.
Well, let's be real. Mariota is not here to play. He's here to coach. If it comes to him playing, then DQ is going to have 1,000% to put him in there. But I'm not angry at Eric about Tony Banks being this. I'm mad about the organization taking the time to get Tony Banks and bring him here, just like Jeff George, which not only Jeff George, but Marcus Sanchez too. Mark Sanchez should not be here. I was like, why would you bring Mark Sanchez here? And he has not proven himself as a Jet. The only thing we did was on.
We didn't prove it with them.
Exactly. So I don't understand the signing.
No, I think the difference. He did prove it twice.
1915, 1815, whatever. It doesn't apply.
I'm sorry. That was Miriam watching TV, but
he did prove it twice when they went to the Jets. Remember, they went to both playoff games. Remember, they went to the championship game and lost both times. So he did prove with the Jets. This was the last year he did.
Well, the problem was he did not have the type of, how could I say this, toughness to sustain a real game in the East side. He was in the AFC, and he actually did well there under the circumstance. Nobody knew who he was or how he reacts. The only thing I can say about the NFL is that if you're coming to the league and you're fresh out of college, there's no time to prepare for a team to prepare for you. When you're seasoned and you're in the NFL for 30 plus years, like a Philip Rivers, they know how to get to you. They just don't know how to get to you quick. And that's when they try to scheme and get to you. We, on the other hand, had that type of player who does not run, who stay in the pocket, and if you try to run, all you got to do is trip him. He fumbles the ball. That's what happened in the butt fumble. And I'm like, yo, nobody wants to be the butt fumble guy of the team, right?
Right. Doing this video to.
Okay, so somebody's watching me on another TV.
Well, I appreciate you updating me on that, Rasul, because I hadn't thought that far ahead. I guess you're right that Mariota is brought in to coach because, we got to coach. Our coaching staff is defensive heavy, and I guess they had enough respect for Mariota's mind and thought process that he could help, bring our boy along.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think he explicit said.
Otherwise, I was like, why?
Yeah, no, that's what I said too.
Give him back to the Falcons and bring back Heineken.
Right. That's what I was saying. Me and Coach said the same thing, and Big Steve. Everybody wants Heineken back. Let's revisit this a little bit. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Get traded. You heard that from me first.
Well, here's the thing. Heineke had a 5-game winning streak in 2 years.
Big money to be a backup. I mean, that was the only problem about unloading him or getting him back.
Right.
Is that he's making top backup money right now, and I don't think anybody wants him besides us.
Well, I mean, we could take him. It would be the problem of who do we let go off the bench for the third, because they love the rookie from Notre Dame, so they're not going to get rid of him.
Oh, Hartman,
yeah. They love Hartman. Hartman.
Dump Mariota.
I mean,
he played for the Falcons. We can do an even swap. They can get Mariota back. We can get Heineke back.
But they're not going to get Mariota because they got Penix, and they have Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, they got Penix, man. Yeah.
So Penix and Kirk Cousins, they don't want nobody else.
And Kirk Cousins, yes.
So they're not going to swap with us.
Oh, that's right. Turkey is down there. That's going to be fun.
But I think I know exactly how that's going to operate, because if Kirk Cousins gets hurt and they throw in the rookie, and the rookie doesn't give Kirk any daylight, Kirk is going to pout. He's going to throw a tantrum. He's going to get upset. He's going to be like, I should be the quarterback. Y'all sign me, not Penix. And then that's the whole kit and caboodle going up in smoke. And then you're going to have a whole war in Atlanta. And
now, me and my brother get into it because he's a Falcons man. I'm Washington. I said, we need our Heineke back, man.
Well, I'm going to say this, and then we're going to move on to.
We'll go down there and get him.
Oh, we're gonna kid. Okay, no, I can't say that, but we could talk off air about what the next step would be. But but let's go. I'm gonna say this before, and then we'll go to the next topic. But he
can sit. He's even sat with the Falcons. Now they don't have the fire that we had with him.
Right.
He knew where each player was supposed to be.
Right.
He lit them up.
Yes. He uplifted Terry. Terry and him had the best connection in the NFL. And and not only Terry, Johan Dotson was also part of that triangle. And I'm gonna say this about the defense, and then we got to move on because it's 6:48. But the defense, I love what Dan Quinn and John Witt Jr. did to the defense. It was an upgrade needed. Now we need them to react to football operations, because now the other teams are scheming against us to put us back in number 3. That's what they're trying to do. The Eagles already said it.
They can scheme all they want to.
Well,
Okay, that's it.
but see, here's the thing. Okay, she's watching me on mute on StreamYard, and why I'm up here talking. but that's fine. Get all the knowledge you need to come up and talk to me on.
So after 4 o'clock, New York, New Jersey area. Oh, we got some callers here.
That was Lou. But anyway, if you look at where we are right now, teams like the Eagles, the Dallas, and the Giants are watching us on defense. Now, the Giants is a whole different thing, because they lost their running back, Darren Warren, for the year. He's gone, right? So they don't have a running back, right? Now Dallas don't have nobody because they brought back, what's his name, Zeke. They don't have nobody either. So what they're doing is revamping, and they're bringing in undrafted free rookies to fill the void, so their offense can flourish. All I can say is Dallas is not the powerhouse no more. They lost Galloway. Galloway's going bye-bye. He's going away. He's not coming back. Gallup, excuse me, not Galloway, but Gallup is gone. Their tight end, who didn't do anything last year, he's gone. So their prime example is they're going to sign Zeke back to a 2-year deal worth $10 million, and this guy is not going to flourish. He's not going to do anything. So he lost speed. He's only good for the end zone. All they got is Dak. All they got is Dak, and Dak and Zeke are known to have a combination, but without Zeke's speed, Dallas doesn't have anything. Now, the only problem is the Eagles. We match pretty well with the Eagles. I think here's another thing. Saquon and the Eagles is in trouble too. He's in trouble legally. Yes, he was caused. I think
Yeah.
I think he had.
They got clear for that. Atlanta did. Atlanta got to get with their 5th pick. The general manager the team was fined $250,000, and the general manager was fined $50,000.
Well, here's the problem with that. There's still a problem with the Eagles. Okay. Thank you, Miriam.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Miriam. I'm sorry for the loud noise interruption, but the Eagles are now a problem for the Commanders. That's why we got to stay on top of our defense. I think if this defense is disruptive in the preseason first 3 games, this defense is going to excel, and we're in midway. I think we're going to be 7-3. Defense wins the game, and I'm pretty sure everybody gets their rings when we go. I don't want to put that out there. I said if, folks. The word I used was if. I did not say we are in the Super Bowl.
They're keeping it quiet for a reason.
And see, that's the thing. I don't want it quiet, because when we were quiet, we ain't do nothing. It was not until late in the season we took over.
Different though.
Now here's one thing. Our right guard, Tycho Cozy, this is his last year of the. He gets $6.2 million this year. If he plays good, he stand the game to get $18 million each year. If he plays good, so I think he's gonna play really great.
Well, see, here's the thing.
$18 million.
Again, that's offensive side. I have no problem with the offensive side, because I know Dan Quinn had his blueprint in there. I think Kingsbury, Dan Quinn, and all of them are good. They love what they have on offense, and I have no problem with that. I agree with them. What I'm looking at is John Witt Jr.'s scheme and thought process on defense, because that's the same type of idea I had with, what's his name,
But you
Jack
need
Del
a
Rio.
defense.
Yeah, because Jack Del Rio, I was 100% against him coming here. I did not like him coming here because he was losing as a Raider, Bronco, and what was it? I think it was that. Was it that? No, it wasn't Dallas. It was Broncos, Miami, Raiders. Yo, he was going all over the place and killing the whole entire franchise. And Jacksonville, yes, Jacksonville. He was good on offense with Jacksonville. He was horrible on defense with Jacksonville. No, wait a minute. I'll take that back. He was good on offense with Jacksonville and defense until the last season when they were trying to go into the playoffs, and they did, and they got creamed. They got bamboozled so bad that the Tallahassee News creamed him, told him he's not welcome back. I'm like, geez, well, he should not come here, and look what happened. He came here. I'm like, yo, what is going on? But moving on. We're going on to the Washington Wizards. The NBA draft is on the 25th, which is on a Tuesday. Folks, Sarge will become the number one selection of the Wizards. Now, the question is, do we get rid of KUZMA? Do we get rid of DENI and BILAL? Listen, you know how I feel about DENI. You know how I feel about BILAL. I like KUZMA. I like Poole. You know? I do not like how they're trying to push KUZMA out the door. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's something new. All right. So I got a question for the panel. I know we got 5 minutes. We're gonna try to do this. Do we let go of KUZMA or DENI or BILAL? Or do we keep KUZMA, keep BILAL, and get rid of DENI? Or do we keep DENI and BILAL and just let KUZMA go and just get Sarge? What do we think? We're gonna go with Lou and with Big Steve. What are your thoughts? Let's go.
Keep DENI, dump KUZMA.
Okay, keep DENI, dump KUZMA. Okay, what you got, Coach?
I agree.
Okay, Big Steve. All right, Big Steve is actually probably doing something right now. All right.
No, I'm right here.
Okay. Oh, go ahead, Big Steve. What you?
Okay. No. I agree with all of them. I agree with both Lou and both Coach.
Okay.
Yeah. Get to the Coach. Like I said, that headache.
Okay, that's okay. No worries. For me, I think we got to keep KUZMA and Poole together because they are our backcourt and they were actually pretty good, but they had a lot of turnovers. If you work with the head coach, Brian Keefe, we should be good. Now, as for DENI and BILAL, they're only experiment. Yes, DENI scored 43 points against the Pelicans. Whoop-de-doo. We still lost. All right? KUZMA and Poole scored 35 combined. They both have 35 points combined. You don't let that go. Yes, they were able to score a lot of points, but no defense. Okay, I get that. But they had 35 combined versus 43 alone and still lost. That's so if you look at the stats, one human being who scores 43, right? Y'all have proven to that Bradley Beal, he scored 55. Y'all didn't like him, so you let him go. So if DENI scored 43, you gotta let him go too. You see what I'm saying?
We screwed up on that because we had the tallest guards in the NBA with Beal and Wall.
Yes,
that was our dream team.
That was.
Go.
Thank you. The backcourt of the NBA, and they got scared. They were like, "Oh my God, it's John Wall and Bradley Beal. What is going on? We can't beat them. They're the best." and they're like, well, they're not the greatest, and they split them up. Exactly. Moving on, Baltimore Orioles. Lou, I'm sorry, buddy. This has got to be said. 17-5. My God. I know that rubber game, you were throwing everything at the screen like, no!
I'm like, what's the typo? 17-5.
That's a football team right there. The Baltimore Orioles just became a football team. They had the best defense.
Mm-hmm. That's what that
I said right from the get-go that these two teams are going to battle it out all year, and it's holding true. I mean, you forget the Dead Sox, not Red Sox, the goofy Blue Jays, and Tampa. They're not even close to contender in that. It's going to be a battle for the AL crown between the Orioles and the Yankees, and I think it's going to go right down to the last game of the season.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Because right now the Orioles are doing horrible against the Astros. They're getting creamed.
Well, they lost.
Oh,
they just lost 5-1.
5-1. Yeah. So we lost, but we got the next two games.
But the Yankees lost too.
Oh, the Yankees lost too.
Yes, they lost too. Okay.
Well, with that being
I
said,
think the Lakers are going to be back this next.
you want to see the Lakers? The Lakers
Their
hired.
new coach is very familiar.
Yeah,
Who's laughing?
that was Miriam watching TV again. I'm sorry. The Lakers hired JJ Redick, and I don't think he's a coach material. Yeah, he's not a coach material. But anyway, I want to thank Lou, Eric, Miriam, and Coach and Big Steve for coming in, and I want to thank you guys for turning in to watch the DMV Sports Show. We didn't get to everything, but we got half of it in for you to hear. So make sure you turn in next Saturday so that we can have the rest of it's being said. Come in and call. The calling number is 512-543-4662. I say again, I started at the last moment. 512-543-4662. Make sure you state your name and where you're from and who you represent. We would love to have a conversation with you. And I will say God bless to everybody here, and be safe. And you're human first and everything second, and you're conquerors by definition. So go conquer your dream because it's up there. All right. So I will say, stay cool and drink a lot. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated, my friend. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Ross.
All right.
Don't forget, big dog Eric joining in too.
Yes, I did. Eric was a big surprise. Yo, my ass goes off to Eric. Eric, man, you gotta come back in, man. That was really, really cool that you came in here. And I value your opinion, man, and everybody else here, but you gotta come in and next time. So I want to say, God bless, Godspeed, be safe.
God bless.
Be safe.
All right, God bless y'all too.
Thank you for coming in and entertaining us on the DMV Sports Show. Make sure you call in 512-543-4662. Make sure you state your name for the record and who you represent. And you're a human first and everything second. You're conquerors by definition, so go conquer your dreams. All right, stay cool out there. Peace.